The year is 1812. The House of Lords stands restless, voices echoing off stone walls. Torches flicker, shadows stretch long across the marble floors. You stand at the edge of history, watching a young man with wild eyes rise from his seat. He is Lord Byron, poet, aristocrat, scandalous soul, his presence alone slicing through the chamber like a blade. He is about to defend the poor against laws crafted to crush them, yet every word he utters burns with the same reckless fire that ruins him in love and life. Now shift your gaze across time. Königsberg, a small Prussian town, snow falling in perfect silence. Another figure walks the same street at the same hour every day, Immanuel Kant. His neighbors set their clocks by his footsteps. No fire, no scandal, no chaos. Only order. Precision. A man who sought to tame the unruly passions of the human heart with reason, as if morality itself could be a science. Carl Jung once said, "In all chaos there is a cosmos, in all disorder a secret order." Tonight, you stand between Byron's chaos and Kant's order. Two flawed men, two legacies. This is legend's legacy, where flaws are never hidden, they are sharpened into weapons. Stay to the end, and ask yourself, whose flaws would you embrace? Share your thoughts below, and if these stories stir your soul, subscribe to journey deeper into the shadows of history. You follow Byron not into the gilded chambers of aristocracy but into the stormlit corridors of his own soul. He was born with a limp, mocked for it as a child, yet that very imperfection became part of his legend. He walked into rooms with a defiant swagger, daring the world to despise him, and they did, even as they adored him. He wielded his flaws like weapons. The limp, the scandals, the debts, the forbidden loves, each became fuel for a myth larger than life. His poetry dripped with passion, scandal, and the aching cry of a man who could never fit inside the neat boxes society built. Byron once declared, "The great object of life is sensation, to feel that we exist, even though in pain." You sense it now, his burning refusal to hide what others would bury. Where most men polish themselves into masks, Byron shattered the mask and made his ruin a crown. He showed the world that flaws, when embraced, do not cripple, they intoxicate. But chaos carries a cost. Behind the fame, behind the thunder of applause, Byron was hunted by loneliness, scandal, and self-destruction. His flaws freed him and devoured him. This is the paradox you face. Will you embrace chaos, knowing it can both liberate and consume? Step away from Byron's storms and enter Königsberg's quiet streets. Snow crunches under your feet, the air is sharp, the night still. At precisely the same time each evening, a solitary figure emerges. His coat buttoned, his hat firm, his stride unwavering. Immanuel Kant, an entire city knew him by the rhythm of his walks, as predictable as the rising of the sun. If Byron was fire, Kant was iron. He never traveled far, never chased scandal, never yielded to passion. His life was so methodical that when he once broke his schedule, delaying his walk, it was because he was lost in the pages of Rousseau. His flaw, the very rigidity that made him great. Critics called him dry, mechanical, a slave to habit. Yet it was from this fortress of discipline that he built a philosophy meant to anchor humanity itself. Kant believed freedom was not found in passion, but in restraint. He argued that your true power lies not in indulging desire, but in commanding it. He wrote, "Act only according to that maxim whereby you can, at the same time, will that it should become a universal law." For him, morality was not about pleasure, not about chaos. It was duty, order, a universal compass to guide every flawed soul. Where Byron flaunted imperfection, Kant demanded you discipline it. But ask yourself, does his fortress protect you, or does it cage you? You now stand between two visions of what it means to live with flaws. On one side, Byron, the rebel who turned his limp, his scandals, his reckless hunger into weapons of seduction and defiance. On the other, Kant, the ascetic who locked his flaws behind iron bars, insisting that reason and discipline must rise above human weakness. Both men faced the same human truth: imperfection is inescapable. Yet each wielded it differently. Byron shouted to the world, "Here I am, broken, burning, unashamed." Kant whispered, "You must master yourself, or you are mastered by nothingness." Their tension is your tension, because deep within you, there is the same battle, between passion and principle, between indulgence and restraint. You crave the fire of Byron, the freedom of living unapologetically. Yet you also long for the structure of Kant, the safety of a life guided by reason. Nietzsche once warned, "Beware that, when fighting monsters, you yourself do not become a monster." Byron's chaos risks devouring you. Kant's rigidity risks freezing you. So the question becomes, will you embrace your flaws by unleashing them into fire, or by disciplining them into iron? The room is split, half lit by the glow of Byron's fire, half cloaked in the cold geometry of Kant's reason. You cannot stand in both. The air feels heavy, as if history itself demands a choice. Byron teaches you that desire is not a weakness but a declaration of existence. To feel deeply, even in ruin, is to prove you are alive. He wore his flaws like battle scars, proof that he had lived without apology. Yet behind the beauty was a shadow, addiction, exile, betrayal. Passion unbound is a torch. It lights, but it also burns. Kant, in his silent discipline, warns that freedom without restraint is no freedom at all. To him, unchecked desire enslaves you. Only by shaping your will into duty do you rise above chaos. His fortress of reason promised dignity, but it also locked away tenderness, spontaneity, the wildness of the human heart. Two paths. One tempts you with fire, the other shields you with iron. Both demand sacrifice. Both reveal the dangerous truth: your flaws cannot be erased. They will either consume you or define you. And so the collision is not between Byron and Kant, it is within you. The fire fades. The snow settles. Byron's restless eyes and Kant's measured gaze dissolve into silence. Yet their voices remain, echoing in you. Because their struggle was never just theirs, it is yours. You carry Byron's hunger for sensation, that wild need to live loudly, to let your flaws shine rather than bury them. And you carry Kant's call to order, the steady reminder that to live without discipline is to scatter your life into fragments. Flaw against flaw, chaos against order, they are not enemies, but mirrors. Carl Jung once wrote, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." But becoming who you are does not mean erasing what is broken. It means deciding, will you make your flaws your weapons, or your chains? This is the legacy of legends, not perfection, but the power to transform imperfection into destiny. So now, the question is yours. Whose path speaks to you more? Do you lean toward Byron's intoxicating chaos, or Kant's fortress of reason? Share your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear your truth. And if these stories ignite something inside you, subscribe to Legends Legacy, where history's flawed souls are not silenced, but reborn.